you and me.
Hi everybody, this is Raymond. I've been asked to answer some questions, so I will do. So let's start. Question number 1. Yes, your first and last name. Well, my first name is Jean Tipper. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, my name is Raymond. I've got a middle name, Serge, and my back name is Sarlemijn. So officially my names are Raymond, Serge, Sarlemijn. Yes. Where do you come from? Well, I come from a planet who's called Oracle. That if you have the moon and Mars together, then in the middle, no, I'm just kidding again. Yes, I'm from Amsterdam, from the Netherlands. I've been raised or born and raised there. I lived in Amsterdam around 31 years. Then I moved a little place in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and then I moved to Norway. And I live here now almost 17 years, I think. And I got also another home, and that is in Estonia, in Vimsi, close to Tallinn. So I've got now at this moment 2 places where I live, Estonia and in Norway. Yeah. Okay, do you remember your first dancing? Oh no, when and how did you start dancing? Well, that's interesting. I remember when I was young, I started to dance in Amsterdam with a ghetto blaster on my neck. And I started to do electric boogie and street dance and hip hop and break dance on a cardboard to make some money. Then I also did some Latin, ballroom, all that kind of stuff, jazz and ballet. I did all that. And I started line dancing. I never thought I would start line dancing because I thought line dance is like all these steps and yeehaw. But I had a friend who I already know since I was little. He said he was doing line dance, and he always asked, "Ray, come," because I know him from football. I knew him from the clubs where we hanged out. I knew him from the training studio and all that. So he knew I was doing that, all that stuff. So one day, I had nothing to do, and I went to see what he was doing. So then I saw him dancing, and he was doing some hip hop in there, like the Running Man in one kind of a dance. I can't remember which dance, but then I thought, that's interesting. So that's how I started with line dancing. And then he took me to a place in Den Haag, it was called MBC. And then at short notice after that, Roy Verdonk and Tom Mikkers had their own theater too, because Roy Verdonk was just world champion there. And he needed dancers in his show. So then we just joined him, and since then we just basically stayed there, and now yeah, that's how it started. Yeah. Next question. Yeah. Do you remember your first dancing event? Not the first dancing event, but I remember my first competition. Nobody told me you have to go where the dance is going, because I was used to street dance, hip hop and all that stuff, and Latin and ballroom that you could just go. So, and in those days there were no rules yet with variations. Yes, the 8 rules, but now there are. So I just made a variation, and I thought, I'm so cool. Anyway, to make a long story short, when they went forward, I went backwards. When they went to the left, I went to the right. And vice versa. So I was all over the place. Also remember, why I liked line dancing is because I think I'm pretty much I like the cowboy style. I like to wear a cowboy hat. Yeah, that's why I see in the back a cowboy hat. Yeah. So I had a hat, and I was so proud of it. And then when I was finished, this man, my best friend, he said, "You know, you have a female's hat on." And I thought, what? Unbelievable. You let me dance with a female hat? Unbelievable. But anyway, that was my first dance event. Yeah. Now, what are you doing at this point of the world of dance? Well, what I do, I'm teaching people on a social level, but I'm also teaching people technique classes. I am teaching online technique classes. I go to people's place to teach, and I'm a part of the Judge Education Board of the World CDF. I wrote with Roy Verdonk the World CDF judge education with some other people, but we did the mainframe that we did. And so I'm also teaching a little bit of Zumba dance to be fit, but I also have my own dancing program, and that's called Dance to the Beat, and that's going to be online very soon. And also in this event I'm teaching dance to the beat. So if you're interested to become a dance teacher of Dance to be Fit, please text me, because we're going to have online classes that you can follow, and then you can become a dance teacher of that. Yeah. Okay. What people should know about you, your work, your career, and all that stuff. Okay, well, in my dance career, I'm 45 times world champion in different categories. I'm also Dutch champion, Swedish, Belgium, France, German. Name it, I competed a lot. I have combined world championships titles with Darren Bailey, Roy Verdonk, Roy Hadisebroto, all that. My occupation, officially I learned to be a baker, like baking cakes and cookies, but also for bread. I've been worked at many years. I also worked as a chef, in a breakfast chef, but also in a restaurant, a la carte chef, name it, I did it. And now I'm a sales manager of Norway. I sell bone cement, so if you need a new hip or a shoulder, dance to the beat. So if you're interested to become a dance teacher of Dance to be Fit, please text me, because we're going to have online classes that you can follow, and then you can become a dance teacher of that. Yeah. Okay. What people should know about you, your work, your career, and all that stuff. Okay, well, in my dance career, I'm 45 times world champion in different categories. I'm also Dutch champion, Swedish, Belgium, France, German. Name it, I competed a lot. I have combined world championships titles with Darren Bailey, Roy Verdonk, Roy Hadisebroto, all that. My occupation, officially I learned to be a baker, like baking cakes and cookies, but also for bread. I've been worked at many years. I also worked as a chef, in a breakfast chef, but also in a restaurant, a la carte chef, name it, I did it. And now I'm a sales manager of Norway. I sell bone cement, so if you need a new hip or a shoulder or a knee, and you're at that age that they say, okay, your bone is so far, we need cemented, then most of the time they use our bone cement. So I'm responsible for whole Norway, and I'm traveling, yes, so to Norway to visit hospitals. So that's what I do beside my dancing career. Yeah. Okay. Now, what is your most memorable experience in your dance career? I think the most memorable was the first time when I became world champion. That was in Nashville. I never forget that. It was, I think, 1:30 at 9. What's the story about it? There was awards, like every time. But the awards started at 8. And the whole floor was totally packed with people. Like 1,500 people. And I thought, wow. If they all know that you're world champion, that would be so great. Anyway, it started being 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and on and on and on. And then finally, there were 5 more people in the hall. Yes. And one was Guy de Mundi, because I competed a lot with him in choreography. And then finally at 1:30 or almost 2, they said, world champion Raymond Sarlemijn, with the dance Mala Mujer. I never forget it. I wrote it with Darren Bailey. Yes, it was a very nice dance, cha-cha. And they said, congratulations, bye-bye, because it was so late and everybody wanted to go to sleep. And there I was, like, what? Nobody. But that was so funny. Oh yeah. Anyway, so that was the most memorable, that I became the first time world champion. I have, of course, more. Because every time when I'm at a dance event, it is great to see people and to dance. So every time I think it's memorable. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Yes. Who or was Who is or was your inspiration? Okay, now in dancing I've got lots of people. I will call some names in not particular order. Inspiration is Roy Verdonk, Darren Bailey, Fred Whitehouse, Daniel, Jose, Pim van Grotel. He's amazing, this guy. And I probably have a few more, Jonas, but also lots of my students who inspire me because they inspire me to know more, to teach them more. They inspire me to give the best every time of me to them. Yeah. In dance wise, I've got one person I really look up to that I think like, wow, I wish I could dance like him. And his name is Slavik Krilkijevi. Just type his name in, Slavik, that is Slavik, and put Latin dance and then you will see his name, and then that is my idol. Then of course I've got another idol in my life, but that is in my personal life, and that is my wife. That's her name is Kairi. She is my idol because she makes me a better man. She makes me see other things. She makes me enjoy my life. She makes me laugh, and I just have always a good time with her. So she's my inspiration, the biggest inspiration in my personal life. Yes, but of course not only them, also my kids. Yes, I've got 4 kids, 2 of my own, 2 with my wife. Yes, so then my kids are called Elvira Leona and Demi Emilia and all that stuff. Okay, well, in my dance career, I'm 45 times world champion in different categories. I'm also Dutch champion, Swedish, Belgium, France, German, name it. I competed a lot. I have combined world championships titles with Darren Bailey, Roy Verdonk, Roy Hadisebroto, all that. My occupation, officially I learned to be a baker, like baking cakes and cookies, but also for bread. I've been worked at many years. I also worked as a chef, in a breakfast chef, but also in a restaurant, a la carte chef, name it, I did it. And now I'm a sales manager of Norway. I sell bone cement, so if you need a new hip or a shoulder or a knee and you're at that age that they say, okay, your bone is so far, we need cemented, then most of the time they use our bone cement. So I'm responsible for whole Norway, and I'm traveling, yes, so to Norway to visit hospitals. So that's what I do beside my dancing career. Yeah. Okay. Now, and what is your most memorable experience in your dance career? I think the most memorable was the first time when I became world champion. That was in Nashville. I never forget that. It was I think 1:30 at 9. What's the story about it? There was awards like every time, but the awards started at 8, and the whole floor was totally packed with people, like 1,500 people. And I thought, wow, if they all know that you're world champion, that would be so great. Anyway, it started being 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and on and on and on. And then finally, there were 5 more people in the hall. Yes. And one was Guy de Mundi, because I competed a lot with him in choreography. And then finally at 1:30 or almost 2, they said, world champion Raymond Sarlemijn with the dance Mala Mujer. I never forget that. I wrote it with Darren Bailey. Yes, it was a very nice dance, cha-cha. And they said, congratulations, bye-bye, because it was so late and everybody wanted to go to sleep. And there I was, like, what? Nobody. But that was so funny. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so that was the most memorable, that I became the first time world champion. I have, of course, more, because every time when I'm at a dance event, it is great to see people and to dance. So every time I think it's memorable. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Yes. Who is or was your inspiration? Okay, now in dancing I've got lots of people. I will call some names in not particular order. Inspiration is Roy Verdonk, Darren Bailey, Fred Whitehouse, Daniel, Jose, Pim van Grotel. He's amazing, this guy. And I probably have a few more, Jonas, but also lots of my students who inspire me because they inspire me to know more, to teach them more. They inspire me to give the best every time of me to them. In dance-wise, I've got one person I really look up to that I think like, wow, I wish I could dance like him. And his name is Slavik Krilkijevi. Just type his name in, Slavik, that is Slavik, and put Latin dance and then you will see his name, and then that is my idol. Then of course I've got another idol in my life, but that is in my personal life, and that is my wife. That's her name is Kairi. She is my idol because she makes me a better man. She makes me see other things. She makes me enjoy my life. She makes me laugh, and I just have always a good time with her. So she's my inspiration, the biggest inspiration in my personal life. Yes, but of course not only them, also my kids. Yes, I've got 4 kids, 2 of my own, 2 with my wife. Yes, so then my kids are called Elvira Leona and Demi Emilia, and my other 2 kids, my stepkids, is called Michelle and Stefan. Yep, okay. Next question. In which year did you begin your career as a choreographer? I started very fast because I didn't like the way how we danced with your hands in your pocket and stuff and heel toe. It was not for me, so I started really early. Which year I don't remember, but I remember my first dance was called the Bailando. That I remember. I'm not sure if it's on Kopenop. Yes or no. We have to see. Yeah. Okay. Then it says, do you have any tips for the dancers? Yes. Don't be stuck with the step sheet. A step sheet is only a time sheet. Yes, it says only the time when you have to be in the beat. It doesn't say nothing else about your body. So feel free, enjoy your song, express the song. Yes, what I hear, I would like to see as well on the floor. It has to combine. Yes, of course it is very hard. Yeah, dancing is very easy, but it is just not so simple. Yes, and remember one thing: you have to be fast to be slow, and slow to be fast. Yes. Anyway, thank you. I see the questions are like this. Yes, thank you very much for this interview. I hope you know a little bit more about me, and thank you for watching. See you soon around the dance floor. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
You and me.
Hi, my name is Snook, and I am a competitor and choreographer from Sydney, Australia. So I started line dancing when I was just 8 years old. I believe that was in 1994. And it all started at school. I was not picked for any of the sports, so I ended up just doing odd activities when everyone went off to play sport. So one of them was line dancing, and one of our teachers at school was a line dance instructor. So Kelvin Dale is his name. He's one of the instructors here in Sydney, and he took me under his wing, and I did a couple of dances with him when I was a kid and a young choreographer. Now I'm 25 years on and still choreographing, and clearly I still love it. So it's been great. So my first line dancing event was actually the Australian Line Dance Championships. I think this was 2002. I was like 15 or 16-ish. And that was my first Australian event. When I was competing, I didn't place anything. It was like my very first competition. I was so nervous. I was like this little short fat kid that was still learning how to put his left and right foot side by side. And yeah, it was such a great event. I loved it. And then I went back the next year and took out an Australian title. So it gave me the right type of drive to really push myself in my ability to dance. Again, which has brought me to here today. So at the moment I've just finished doing some videos online for social distancing and streamlining. Well, I was meant to do streamlining, but I actually ended up in hospital, so I couldn't do that event, unfortunately. But apart from that, that's all I've been really doing. I've been really busy with uni at the moment, so I've been laying low in the world of dance, but I have done a few online things. Before that though, I did have a few events booked this year, and I also was training to compete at the World Dance Masters again over in the UK. So I was quite busy in terms of what I was doing and training and stuff, but right now it's kind of slowed right down because we've had to sort of stay indoors, and dancing indoors is not as extravagant as it would be if I would like to be on a real dance floor, if you know what I mean. But yeah. So what some people may not know about me, I do have a day job. So I was an accountant until the end of last year, I think, and then I decided to have a huge career change and move into data and coding and computer science and IT. So I'm currently doing my master's in data science, and I am working as a data management specialist for one of the Australian government agencies here in Australia. So work is tough, which is really good. It's challenging me and I love it. And yeah, I'm a data scientist. Almost, you could call me a nerd. Okay, so my most memorable moment in my dance history would have to be walking into the Winter Gardens when I went to the UK Dance Masters for the first time. That room, I've never seen anything like it in my life, and it literally took my breath away. I didn't know where to look. I was just looking up at the roof, across the hall. The place was absolutely massive. We don't have anything like that, of that size here in Australia, and that type of energy in the room was, I'll never forget that moment. So I really take a lot away from that event. So one of my inspirations in dance would be Mr. Simon Ward. He was also already a very experienced competitor and choreographer when I met him at my first Australian Line Dance Championships, and I was drawn to the way he danced and the way he choreographed. He was a big inspiration for me when I was a kid, and I really wanted to be able to do exactly what he did the way he did. So he had a very big influence on my life as a line dancer when I was younger and building my ability to dance. So I became a choreographer. When was my first dance? I think it was 15. Maybe it was earlier than that. I'm not sure, but it was very young. Early teens, let's just say that. I had a few dances that were quite popular in Sydney, and maybe in Melbourne and a few other cities in Australia, but they didn't really go further than that, because I was still quite young and I didn't really have the capacity to know people and push my own dances, especially from this little island from way across the Pacific, Atlantic, or wherever you are in the world. So I had a few dances called Mr. Mum, that was one of my popular ones here. I also did Unchained Melody, which I taught on social distancing the other week, which everyone loved. And there's a few others that were quite popular, but yeah, I started choreographing when I was early teen, so probably about 15 years plus choreographing dances for everyone at this point in time in my life. A tip that I would give other dancers would be to challenge yourself. That'll be number one. And just love what you do. Like, be yourself and love what you do. Life can be its most enjoyable when you challenge yourself and love what you do. So if you have both of those things, then I would say that you're living your best life.
You and me.
Hey everybody, I'm Ivonne Verhagen and I'm from the Netherlands. And I'm very excited and happy that I be on this U&Me event. So thank you for the invitation, Johanna and Jonas. Yes, and you thank all for watching my video of the story of my life, my dancing life then. Yes, I started dancing, yes, I was a kid. I already did ballet from, I think I was 7 years old. And I did that for years. And then I started dancing with my brother, like ballroom and Latin. I did that for 2 years. And then my brother quit. Yeah, boys don't like to dance that much. And then I found another dance partner and we continue and doing some kind of competitions, and that went well. So I did that many years. So yeah, I have quite some experience in dancing, and we were on a high level too. And then yeah, I found a boyfriend and dancing was low level, you know what I mean. So I quit for a few years with dancing, and then my mom says, come on, let's line dance. And I thought, line dance? Cowboy hat, yee-haw, you know what I mean? With all the respect, because if you like that, you must do that. But I thought, no, it's not my thing. I only thought about Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, and that's not really my style. But we went to a very nice place. It was a kind of modern style line dance. They did a mix, country and line. And I like it so much because you don't need a partner and you can be as crazy as you want. You can do it basic, you can do it all the way. So yeah, it was great. And that was in the year 1998. Oh my God, it's a long time ago. Ooh, more than 20 years already. Yeah, okay, so about my first dance event. Yes, my first dance event was the Western Experience in the Netherlands. It is a huge event in, I think it was 10 big rooms, all full of dancing and live music, horses, etc. If you want to go to the toilet at that event, it was so many people. You have to take half an hour walking to all the people to go to that event. But I like it very much, and there I met a girl, and she says, oh, you're dancing quite well. You do competitions? I said, competitions? Me? I didn't know that there were competitions in line dance. So that's my first experience with a great event and my first touch to the competitions. So yeah, okay. You asked me what some people do not know in my career. Yeah, okay. I think many people don't know that I'm a producer of a big, huge theater show. And I got the virus actually from the organizer of the Western Experience, that big event where I told you about. And he has also a theater show, and he asked me to come in his show. So the first season I was just dancing, and then he asked me to do some choreography in that show. And really, I had the virus of the theater. So I did some choreography, and I thought, once in my life, I want my own theater show. So it started like 6 years ago, I think. Yes, 6 years ago. And I start my first show with dancers, live music, everything. Huge, nice lights, a big stage with the show stairs, you know, with all the lights where the singers came off and the we dancers came off. And yeah, I made all the choreographies, so yeah, that was very nice, because all the choreographies has to be different, you know. It's not the meaning that everything looks like each other. So yeah, sometimes it has to come out of my little toe to make all the choreographies. But it was so much fun, and all the reactions, and yeah, it is great to be in the theater because the people are sitting down and say, okay, entertain me. So yeah, the people have a free evening off and they just want to be entertained. And then we have always an after party, and then all the reactions came. Yeah, if you have time, you can look at Southern Stars Events. That is the producer name of the theater show. And at the moment, there is not a dancing show running, but there is a Garth Brooks show running. And I'm a producer from that show as well. No dancers, but it is all musicians, and they have all their own choreography. Yeah, it is amazing. And the guy looks like Garth Brooks and sounds like Garth Brooks. So yeah, that's many people don't know that I'm also a producer and the choreographer of the whole show. My most memorable experience in my career as a dancer is, yeah, my world championships, of course. Yeah, that you become world champion, and especially my first one, because the first one is always so special. You practice, you do your best, but you don't expect to be a world champion. And you see, there is you can see it is from glass, it's my award. And in the back you see a little poster, it's also from my first world championship. Many prizes and awards here in the back and also there, but you cannot see. Yeah, and that was the most beautiful moment in my dance career. Yeah, the first time it was in Nashville also. The Valhalla of the country, of course, and the line dance. So yeah, that was amazing. And I must say, in that time, because it's a long time ago already, in that time there were many dancers, and there was one organization. I mean, at the moment they split up, like Dance Masters, World CDF, UCWDC, but at that time it was only UCWDC. So, and all the dances were there. So when you go to the finals, it was already a big fight, because there were about 60 people in your heat, and it went down to 40, and it went down, you know, so excuse me. So that was a very nice moment. Okay, your question, who is or was your inspiration? I must say that was Tom Mikkers and Roy Verdonk. They were amazing. They were a big example for all the dancers. They became world champion for the first times, what I know. They came on television, and they do the kind of style dancing that I like. So yeah, a big inspiration. And still, I mean, Roy is still a great dancer and a great personality. So yeah, it's my inspiration, definitely. Okay, in which year you begin your career as a choreographer? Yeah, actually the same year as my world championship, because I have also an award, world championship of my choreography. So yeah, that's where I start choreographing. And that was the first world championship was in 1999. So 1 year after I started with line dance. Okay, do you have any tips for the dancers? Okay, any tips? I think just be yourself and do what you like. Don't care about other people on the floor. I mean, I dance the way I want to dance. And if people like, they like. And if they don't like, yeah, I cannot help it. It is me. So just enjoy your dancing. Enjoy it the way you feel it. So, and go to all the events and meet all the wonderful personalities, and I think it is a big family. Yeah. So dancing is my life, and it will always be, definitely. So, hope to see you on the dance floor, and definitely now on the dance floor, because you have to go back to Facebook and watch my live teach. I hope to see you there. Give me some thumbs and tell me if you like it, and yeah, whatever. Have fun during this U&Me event. Mwah!
You and me.
Hi y'all, my name is John Kinser. Where do I come from? I come from a small town in Texas called Burton. It's right in between Houston and Austin. So it's like an hour each way. We could go we could be in either town. When and how did you start dancing? I started when I was stationed in Omaha, Nebraska. Started going to the bars there. I was like, didn't know anybody, nobody knew me. So it was kind of cool, so I could get away with it. Before I was like, not touching a dance floor at all. There ain't no way you can get me out there. But anyway, started going to the bars. They had dance classes in the evenings before the bar opened up, and I started joining in those classes and learning how to dance, line dance, and some couples and things like that. Do you remember your first dance event? My first probably showing off dancing and stuff was I was with the Omaha Country Kickers, and at that time we would do fairs and old folks homes and things like that, and demos, you name it. If there was a place that people gathered, we would go and do shows. But because there was like five of us guys, we all got crazy, and they would put us up front, and then we would kind of show off to the crowd. But my first dance event was Worlds in San Antonio in '99, and that's when my eyes were open to, okay, the way that I'm dancing now, I'm not dancing that way anymore. So I made the big switch to dance properly, I should say. What people should know about you, your work, and your career. Retired from the U.S. Air Force after 26 years. Seen a lot, did a lot, been there, done that. Many conflicts, things like that. Other than the Air Force, I used to rodeo. I used to play pro paintball. I used to be a firefighter. Used to build prototype aircraft after I got out of the military. One of the aircraft was called Ego aircraft. It's no longer around anymore, but I had a hand in it and pretty much built it all by hand. Now I'm I worked in a factory building lab tables, and I'm a supervisor there. What is your most memorable experience in your dance career? Probably my most memorable thing for that would be going to all the world events when Joe was teaching. So she would go and compete, and then she would say, okay, you need to go to this, 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 and take dance technique and dance classes and stuff from all the world professionals. So back in those days, it was pretty cool being taught by world professionals, which you just can't go anywhere. So we were at a world event almost every other weekend, and being taught by all of them. So it was not only line, it was couples, it was technique, it was everything. So learning all of that filled your head up, but it was got me to where I am today. Who is or was your inspiration? Probably my biggest inspiration was Max Perry. He has so much knowledge. He was always willing to help. He was one of the people that I looked up to, and I still look up to today. just a wealth of knowledge. My other inspiration would probably be Kelly Gillette. She's got a wealth of knowledge also. I love watching or listening to her speak and talk about the times of way back in the day and where things came from and the history and the knowledge and things like that. I love all that because you hear where it was and how it's evolved into today. In which year did you begin your career as a choreographer? I would probably say my year for choreography was the one that I can remember. Myself, Joe, and Tina Neal, we all went to a washing mat, where you wash your clothes and stuff like that. And they were like, "Oh, let's choreograph a dance." And I was like, "Okay, what is this?" Didn't understand it, but I was like, "Okay." And they were like, "You do 8, you do 8, you do 8." And they just put on some music while we were sitting there washing our clothes, and we created a dance called Wishy Washy Wiggle. And I don't think you can find that anywhere. But anyway, that was kind of my start at choreography. And then after I married Joe and we started going to events in the States, then started getting into choreography and stuff, asking me to join in and give my input. Do you have any tips for the dancers? Proper footwork. So my biggest tip is using proper footwork. NTA teaches it. It is so important because it allows you to dance nice, and it takes all the strain off of all your body, because if you don't dance with proper footwork, you're putting more strain on your body, and this dancing with proper footwork keeps you on the floor all night. A couple other things is turning technique, how to turn. Do it naturally. Everything is 100% natural, but when you tell somebody to turn, they turn unnaturally. And allow your feet to move your body. Don't move your body because somebody tells you to move your body. Everything comes from your feet. So those are probably some of my biggest tips. Some of the stuff looking back over the years, when I first started off, they'd say do this, and they were like, "You're not doing it right. Do this, you're not doing it right. Do this, you're not doing it right." But these are the things that over time I've finally realized that what they were saying is what you naturally do, but it's hard to do. Hope everybody enjoys that. We'll see you on the dance floor. Thank you. Bye-bye.